Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jesse James, Average Idiot, Eastern Kentucky's only AI-powered podcast / vlogs. What are we doing today? Where you been? What's going on? Hey, today back on a podcast, talking to a good friend, Brett. He's from, used to be Green Up Lawn Services, now it's Clean Up Lawn Services, and he's got his own story behind that. We're going to get into his story, who he is. You might see him on Instagram. You've definitely seen him. If you follow my channel, you see him in the chats and all that, but you just see his Instagram channel. If you're not familiar with his Instagram, go to Clean Up. We'll get into that so I don't get it wrong. Clean up property services, something like that. But we'll get right into that in just a couple minutes. But I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you following. I know when there's a YouTube creator, I know when people create podcasts, you want consistency. Consistency is key. And my goal is to get there, but I'm also a father. I also have a business. I also have a family and all that other stuff. So I'm trying to balance that. So I appreciate you. I hear you. But bear with me. Keep working with me. Because y'all make me want to keep doing this every day. If it wasn't for everybody listening, I wouldn't appreciate it. So I definitely appreciate you. I definitely appreciate your advice and tips and all the direct messages I get on Instagram. Appreciate you guys. So with that, we're going to get straight into the show. Mr. Brett, he went from lawn care, landscaping. Now he's breaking into the wash life side of business. What is going on with that? Before we even go into that, who are you? Who are you? Why are you on my show? What is going on? What's going on, big dog?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure out who I am, what I am.
And that is the question that I think I thought I knew until I was about 30 years old.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I not only don't know who I am, I not only don't know I don't know anything about anything. And I totally had an ego drop, life hit. Of course, I was still trying to have a business. I thought I was politically aligned one way, and then I started crash coursing this way, and then now I'm having spiritual crashes over here. So I have a lot of life going on, and I'm still in my early 30s. I realize I don't know nothing, and I'm just trying to figure out who I am. But I do know where I want to go. I do know what I want to do. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good business guy, and I want to be, just an all-around good human being. I want to take a knee for Christ. I want to be there for my kids. And that's why we start businesses, I think, is we want to be there for our family. Well, why else would you start a business? Why would you leave a $20 an hour welding job, hypothetically, to go wash a house and potentially fail? That's why in this world, most people can't succeed in business. And when our mutual friend Virgil was on here, he says, not everybody's a business guy. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. What does that mean? Well, they hurt my feelings. My mommy said I could. Shut up. Shut up. You're not going to be an entrepreneur. Sometimes you're just going to be a worker, and that's okay. You got to be a good human being. You got to be a good father, and just do your part the best you can. If you have the capability and knowledge to be a business guy, follow my dumb story. I failed multiple times. Look at that beautiful Ren 1010. All right, we're gonna get off the rant. So what's your story? How long you been self-employed? What's your whole background? What's up with you?
So self-employed since really all my life, but about 2006. In regards to lawn care, landscaping, kept making goes at it, but also doing odd jobs here and there of hauling this or rebuild this fence, redo this deck, just odds and ends with nothing.
So for about how long?
Since 2006.
2006. What was you doing before that?
I had done commercial flooring.
So you worked for like, was you 1099 guy, or was you like a worker guy? Like was you as his
worker,
and there ain't nothing wrong with that. So you got off work. You decided, okay, I'm a young, healthy man. I'm go work flooring. That's not easy. Anybody done flooring? What you're just doing some side jobs here and there. Did you jump into doing flooring on the side and stuff like that?
No, was a worker for warehouse, delivering all that, and then I got with one of the installers that was picking.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And got on the van with him, and then started doing 1099 from there, which he taught me pretty much everything I ever learned from it.
Yeah. Flooring makes good money.
It does, but it also taught me that there ain't no future in that. I mean, you see guys in their 40s that have done it since their 20s, and their knees are shot. They can barely, it,
Yeah.
it breaks you down like a shotgun.
Yes. Yeah, dude. It's kind of similar to roofing. Like
Yeah,
I worked for a flooring guy just for a few times, just for cash, strictly cash. I didn't work for him every now and again, and he could barely when he got down on the floor, he was good,
yeah,
but just his one leg was so like swollen from from kneeing this little kicker thing, and it just the dude was just I don't know, he was breaking down. He was breaking down.
yeah. We did mostly commercial, and so a lot of VCT tile and ceramic tile and whatnot. And I tell you what, loading and unloading that crap, and in new construction, you have to take it up the flight of steps because the elevator's not working or this or that.
Oh,
It was, yeah. I just had to get an epidural shot in my back for a nerve blocker,
wow.
and it's like that's part of why I got out of lawn care too. Not just my heart wasn't in lawn care landscaping.
We'll get into that because that's gonna be a hot topic. Because I'm right there emotionally. I'm right there with you all the way around. So let's say 2006 to 2010 era. You're working and you start doing these side jobs, stuff like that. Where you at and where you at in this area? You doing some side jobs? How long till you go? Decide, man, I'm making pretty good money just doing some side projects.
So the finally got to the point where close to 2006, I would say, started getting the seed planted in me of being frustrated with, you know, always having to depend on Joe Blow or this or that, or and not seeing things done per se the right way, or people treated the right way, or value the customer and be fair with people. So that seed started planting in me, and then I'd say it just sat there for this 2006 up until 2012, 13, somewhere ballpark.
Right.
I really
So
was like, I can't deal with you know customers being taken advantage of, or this being done wrong, or you know stuff like that. And I would say, don't. I hate time frames because I'm terrible with
yeah,
time.
yeah. Don't worry too much about time frame. Just
Yeah. So I'd say roughly 2012, I was just pretty much went out on my own completely.
was you
And
scared at that time,
oh,
thinking, "Man, I got bills," and
I was scrambling. I was doing everything from, sod jobs, flooring, to lawn care, landscape, and deck rebuilds, to fences, to going to the local. We have Goodwill up here, and they
mhm.
sell stuff by the poundage. It's like clothing and this and that. Then they have auctions. It's basically overflow from their stores. So you go in there and buy stuff up, and then you'd hit the two big flea markets on Saturday and Sundays.
You joker, you. That's smooth moving.
And then I found that there's a big movement in CDs that people are starting to put. This is back when people really starting to put all their music on their computers.
Right.
And so I jump on Craigslist and I'd find, you know, a collection of 500 CDs, somebody blowing out for $200. So I go buy them all, take them to the flea market, and that was the hottest selling item I ever sold, was $3 CDs.
So you was hustling all over the place, hustling, making
Or
all kinds of whatever you can make money at, you
pretty much,
got your hands in it.
yeah. If there's a pile of metal, I'll take that shit, because I mean, if somebody's gonna pay me to haul the way to the dump, the heck with that. I'll take it to the recycling place, and
Get paid twice.
exactly, you know.
Yeah. I've definitely done some of that. What was some of the ways you were finding work at that time? Was you just kind of like people seeing you out and about, kind of, or do you kind of have a different like? Was you marketing or anything like that?
I really wasn't marketing. It was, you couldn't get me to shut up. I'm a firm believer in, if you leave the house without a business, without a pocket full of business cards, what are you doing, dude? You know what I mean? If you see somebody, speak to somebody,
Oh,
you got to tell them what you do.
yeah,
My dad was an entrepreneur for years. He came out of the hills, West Virginia,
yeah.
came to Virginia when he graduated high school, and no college. He got in with the local electrical union, whatnot, local 666. Did that for some years, and then he got out of the union, and then opened up a supply house. And what he started going to do is going around and finding uh, electrical supply companies that were failing or shutting down for whatever reason, whatever, and he would buy their entire inventory for pennies on the dollar, and then he would bring all that down and then sell it for below wholesale. So then electricians found it more money in their pocket if they bought from him, because he's able to sell it below what they were buying it from supply houses for. And
Wow.
one
That's
thing from him is, an entrepreneur or any type of business, find a need and fill it. Don't create a need. Find a need and fill it.
that's very true. I did not know that. So like you seen your dad as a hustler, as an entrepreneur. So that kind of that probably put that subconscious seed that you said you felt like 2005, 6 era of like, man, I just do this myself. I can make my own money. You probably subconsciously already had that from seeing your pops and stuff like that, possibly that you know what I mean? Like, it can be done. You
Exactly.
but you also mentioned something and I kind of want to touch back on it. If you ain't you gotta if you ain't got no work, you got some business cards, you need to get out there and just go meet and greet, kinda knock door style, not really knock doors, but the meet and greet style. What
Exactly.
dude, I agree with that, but to be honest, I'm a pussy when it comes to that, 'cause like
Oh, it's terrifying. It's
yeah, yeah. So, like, how okay, if I'm having a natural so sometimes I'll be pumping gas and I'll see a guy across the gas pump from me, he'll have like a diesel Volkswagen. So we'll start talking about the cars, and then I feel comfortable enough to be like, "Hey, man, I do whoop whoop. Here's my card. If you ever need anything, give me a holler." Excuse me, because that ice is already broke. Well, do you just like cold walk up to people, or do you like go to like if you got like you ain't got no work, you need work, so you go. What do you probably do? Go to like a store, go to a gas station, go to your local community places. What just kind of hang out, or like how does that whole process play out?
just kind of hit different, like, supply houses, even Lowe's, Home Depot, whatnot. Create a vision in my head of a fence job or something like that, and throw advertisements out. And then meanwhile, Dad blame well, that's too big for you to do. So now you're on the hunt to find somebody that you can sub it out to. You know what I mean? Never turn down work. Always find connections that
Yeah,
you turn to.
networking.
Have them do the work. They get paid. You get paid, and it's and you never lose touch. You always keep
Keep yeah,
like a Rolodex of contacts of
yeah.
you know,
So what's your best way of like let's say I seen you at a gas station, you needed some work. How you gonna walk up to me and tell me who you are? Tell me how I'm just an old lady pumping my gas, but you know that I have a decent house that needs to be washed and I got some money. How are you gonna come up to me being respectful, tell me who you are, tell me that you wash houses and without making anything kind of like, whatever. Do you usually have a little
I,
pitch for
I
that?
basically approach with my business card on the washing end and say, "Ma'am, I you know want to introduce myself. I'm starting to offer services in this area. Want to give you my card, and I can promise you that my service is second to none. I'm not the cheapest guy on the town, but my quality of work will speak for itself, and I'd
Right.
appreciate the opportunity to come by, give you a quote."
So you're Jeez. So you're really like really kind of more direct and open with it, kind of more short, sweet kind of person with it. Because there's nothing wrong with that. I tend to talk a little bit too much, and I get in my own way sometimes. But yeah,
Well,
cool.
and
Marketing's hard.
some people you need to talk more. Some people you need to go. It's and I'll tell you, one big thing that I was blown away about on advertising is door hangers. So I did an experiment 3 years ago, and I found
Okay.
those are not for me. So I take business
I'm
cards.
a big fan of door hangers, so
Now,
I want to hear this.
all right, now I take business cards and I take a hole puncher and I punch a hole in the like, and I run the rubber band through it and I hang the business card on the doorknobs.
Okay.
That people with door hangers, majority of them, they're big, bulky. They take them off, throw them away.
Yeah.
Not personal. A business card has everything that the door hanger has, just a condensed version. And it's a lot more personal. So they'll take the rubber band out, throw the rubber band out, and keep that business card.
Either they're going to throw it on the counter. The likelihood of it getting thrown in the trash first is the door hanger is probably going to get thrown away first. It's just like a piece of mail.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I've had door hangers from like different churches and different community things. I don't even look at them, not because I'm being disrespectful, not because I don't respect anybody else's denomination, but because I just don't. I'm not in the market for anything. So I
Right.
see any kind of marketing material on my door hanging or something, I instantly just throw it away. Not being rude. So I can take that, you can take that, the listeners can take that and apply it to their own service industry. Understand that, I've spent quite a bit of money on door hangers and I haven't had the best returns, but I've had a nice little jump and a nice little start. And what I kind of like about door hangers and what I like about your idea, I did the same thing with your idea, uh, with what you do with car. I did the same thing. I bought some a couple years back. I bought some bigger uh s- square business cards and I punched holes and I hung probably on I did it all on mailboxes. This was when COVID first started. And I probably hung probably almost 2,000 business cards.
Right.
And I didn't get a whole lot of work. But what I did get is a whole lot of people when I did see them here and out and about different places, people and it was just me, one truck, and I'd have some like guys that help me. They said, "Man, you're everywhere. I see your truck everywhere. I hear about you guys everywhere." It's like, no, no, you haven't. It's just you see my business card because you probably have it sitting on your counter and you don't even realize it. You probably don't even know. Or I would just go take business cards and I'd put them in gas pumps in the
Yeah.
credit card slot. I used to do that all the time, and so it's you know
And
those
I just got 2,000 business cards. I picked them up yesterday, the day before, $183. So I can guarantee you, you're gonna pay a lot more than that for 2,000 door hangers.
right,
You
yeah,
know,
and I think I got like 7. I got maybe 500 door hangers left of the new ones I got. I've only hung out. I haven't hung a lot of the door hangers that I need to. Of course, this time around, I'm not really wanting to expand my pressure because I'm still working in a factory and I enjoy it. Actually, there's a lot of changes coming to my schedule. So, but like whenever I was in business before, I quit my job way too early. I pulled that trigger way, way too early before I was mentally and financially ready. Uh, so this time I'm kind of trying to keep it scaled to a place to where I'm learning a lot more. I'm going a lot slower. You know what I mean? So when you were coming up in business, did you ever ramp up a little bit too fast and then decide, "Oh man, I don't know really what I'm doing. I
oh,
don't understand a lot. I'm taking on all this stuff and I don't have a clue what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be at. I don't even know how to schedule nothing."
oh, absolutely. And I've grown bigger than the jobs I had, and
Right.
big ass mower, enclosed trailer, da da da. And then I'm sitting there scrambling. I'm like, crap, I can't keep up with the bills. So then I find myself liquidating stuff. You know what I mean? Selling stuff to hang on to the moment and fighting like, tooth and nail. Eh, Dumbest thing I ever did was I had a little 48-inch zero turn and a small trailer to pull it in behind, right?
Mhm.
They want some money. And I'm like, oh, let's go. So I took that 48-inch and traded in for a right ZK 61-inch and sold the trailer and went and bought a 16-foot enclosed trailer. Why the hell do you need a 16-foot enclosed trailer with one mower?
It's nice though.
Oh,
It's nice.
it was shiny. It was nice, but I wasn't your average idiot in Virginia that day. You know,
Yeah.
so very quickly I found I can't sustain this. This is, stupid. So I had to sell that crap off and try to
Now
hustle.
you probably had some payments with it as well.
No, I'd come upon some money, so everything was paid off.
But you should have put that money into savings, that way
or
for something to happen, man.
or I should have put it in marketing, or
You should have put it in
the
market.
equipment that I had was perfect. On the damn thing.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That makes a lot more sense. That's starting to make a lot more sense to me now. Yeah, man, I totally agree. That's similar situations where I was in. I put all my eggs. I put all my eggs into one basket whenever I was in business, man. Like, and people like you follow my channel for a long time. You've seen me. You call me whenever I had like 20 subscribers. You call me up.
I'll never forget exactly where I was at. I was sitting in the McDonald's eating a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and I called your ass up because you were at a kind of a bad spot right then. But I saw the potential and your and the heart, your nature, and I was like, "Look, I got to call him up."
I
And
don't even remember because my video is about mental mistakes, and I can't remember what I did, or I think I was complaining about tire kickers and just kind of accepting all the work that came in, and I was just kind of letting my clients dictate how much ever I was going to get paid. So I was gone all day long. I would have made better money just staying at a factory. And the thing with a factory, you eliminate making money for security and time. You know what I mean? You're not going to make a bunch of money, but you don't have to worry about money. You're
right,
going to make your $600 to $700 a week, no matter what.
right.
You know what I mean? And I was making less than that, running all over the place. It was miserable. I was in a horrible spot, and then you reached out and called me, and that was early in my business, and I appreciate that. So I know you've been around watching. So you seen whenever um I took on that cemetery that second year,
Yeah, I
and
call
I
you. I was like,
no, that
dude,
was 31 acres somewhere out in there. Put all my eggs in one basket, pretty much. The cemetery and these schools. I let go of some of the residentials, which is fine. They weren't good residentials anyway, but I wasn't actively going after better residentials. I wasn't actively going fast forward, whatever. Life, you can't just I wanted to be this big business guy,
but
and I put people in places.
I can't say anything bad thing about that because the beginning of this year, I'm sitting here minding my business, and it was like 7 o'clock at night, and I got an email, and it's this property management company. Hey, we need a bid on this. Submit it by tomorrow morning. And I'm like, okay. So I
Pretty
get look.
quick.
It's like 60 some properties. Some
Wow.
public parks that are like 20 acres. Right now, mind you, I got a mower and my dumb ass, and so I'm like, I didn't even have a computer at that point, right? So I'm like, how can I? So my ass rushed to Costco, bought a computer, came back,
Right.
pulled all these sites up, looked at them. I got to sleep at like 6 in the morning. Finally
Right.
submitted the bid. It was going to be like for 125,000 for the 8 months.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God I didn't get that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What?
there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that I remember, like, whenever I went and met, because this cemetery was I only got 30. The original bid was supposed to be for the whole 110 acres or whatever, but they chopped it up between me and another company and then the workers there. So, like, they're like, "Yeah, but, are you gonna be able to take care of 30 acres?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I drove through it, and I'm like, it was me with my 44-inch X-Mart I got off Ray that had its little bit of issues that I always worked on, and I had a Still 94R and me at the time, and then brought on a guy named David who had a mower that was getting an engine put on, but, like, we weren't really sure, it was leaking a lot of oil. So at first, even after I got it, I still had to go rent mowers. There's multiple times where I rented mowers. So I did not have the equipment to be doing these things. I was driving all the way from Mansfield, driving all the way to Toledo to do these schools. And I know no one else knows what that means, but it means a lot of driving for these schools that weren't profitable by the time I got there. I remember getting on lotsize.com, and I was on Google Earth because I got it from a property management company. He sent me an email, said, "Hey, there are all these different preschools needing lawn care." I remember sitting there going all night long. I'm Googling stuff, and then I'm thinking, then I'm Googling average square footage price for commercial lawn care in Ohio. I'm Googling that and I went through a couple different states and tried to get my price. And I was like, well, so for this yard, it's for this big schoolyard that I thought, well, if I bid it at 70, I'll be able to make a bunch of money. And it's like, if I was to do it now, that'd be a $275 cut. Easy. That's still a good deal. That what I was doing a couple years ago for 70 bucks. You know what I mean? And driving an hour away. So it's like now if I was to pull out of my yard right now to go 5 minutes down the road for that same property, it'd be like 200 something dollars. And that would be a deal for them. So I was making mad mistakes, heavy mistakes, you know what I mean? So I know.
But I tell you what, one of my favorite sayings is this: education is not cheap.
No, it's not.
So you're going to have to pay for education, whether you go to a college and pay them out the wazoo, or you learn from your mistakes. And
Yep.
either way, you're going to pay money to learn.
Yeah. And it ain't no wonder, that how some businesses, go out. But the good thing that I had is I had my YouTube channel. So where I had resources, I had people that I can contact, you or Johnny Moe or Ray or other guys in the industry who've been there before, which is good because a lot of you guys called me on it or like cheered me up and you're just like, yeah, you're just gonna have to just keep going and it is what it is. So I do appreciate all that stuff, dude. Very much so.
You know, sometimes, well, a lot of times I don't make the best decisions, but my biggest fire is I saw my dad do it, and he was very humble. He would never tell people that he owned business, successful business, whatnot. Never. People would ask him, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm a junk dealer."
A junk dealer.
Junk dealer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Out the hills of West Virginia. I mean, you know,
Right.
it. And so I lost him in April of '99 to brain cancer.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
So I'm like, I'm still, even to this day, I have my struggles and whatnot. You know what I mean? And we can get into that further down into this
Right. Right.
podcast if you want or whatnot. But so his memory fuels me, push me forward, and by God, come hell or high water, I I knew lawn care wasn't where my passion was, and I know it sounds crazy. You'll understand, a lot of other people won't, but I like seeing that dirt melt off the side of a building. I like
Well,
it.
let's get into that. So we've been talking about your a little bit of a background, and I do want to talk about your dad because I like talking about family and past and my father and stuff. But you was obviously we were just talking about it. You were into lawn care landscaping. We'll talk about a little bit landscaping later on, but you decided that your heart wasn't in it. How did you decide or what happened? Because you got a big fancy mower and you got a big fancy and a lot of people know that story. So what's going on? You're not cutting. So do you cut grass? Now you're not cutting grass and now you're washing houses? What's going on? Let's break the story.
let's
Breaking news.
let's let's break the Toro. Go ahead and break Toro in while we can, right?
Right.
So Toro
Yeah.
gracious enough to provide me with a complete wash setup. What?
What? Toro setting you up with washing setup.
So I won the Z Master 4000 60 inch, 31 horsepower, $12,500 mower from Toro in a random ass drawing. I was blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I got it, and I'm out there cutting with it and whatnot. And, I finally come to my senses that, man, chasing grass clips is just ain't for me.
Yeah, have you been thinking about this for a minute or
I got out of, matter of fact, before I won that is when I sold the enclosed trailer and the right. And I was like, I'm done with lawn care.
so
And
you didn't even really have a mower
no,
whenever you won the Toro?
right. And lawn care LCR has a video up about that of he almost quit lawn care. I was done with lawn care. I
Now,
didn't,
why was it again that you was almost done with lawn care? What was you planning on doing?
I, like I told him, I had no idea, but I knew lawn care wasn't going to be it. And then I won that mower and I was like, it must be meant to be. Yeah, not always. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn it, this must be meant for me to stay in it because
Right.
I won this mower out of God knows how many thousands of people were
Right.
registered. So it's meant for me to sit on this mower and do something that I absolutely.
So you started out with all faith. You started out saying, "All right, I'm gonna continue to mow some grass. The
Yeah,
universe is telling me I gotta keep mowing grass."
yeah, because when I sold the enclosed trailer and the big right, I got rid of my truck. Dumped
Yeah.
it. I'm like, I am done. And then they called my name and said, the winner's Brett's Lawn Maintenance was the name of the company back then. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. That's
So
gotta be somebody else. That's gotta be somebody else.
Toro punking my ass. I'm like, so it, it, so I said, all right, so I'll make a go at it. So then I had to find another truck. Then I had to find another trailer to pull the mower around on. And it just, I didn't have the passion for it. I was like,
Yeah.
I like watching grass get cut. I like to
Yeah.
smell like doing it at my house and at my mom's house for her and my stepdad. But yeah, outside of that, uh, you know,
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you say because I had full like after I fell in a well for a while and disappeared and life happened and I got stressed out. Well, after I fell in a well and after I got out and we already been moved down here to Kentucky and I've had all full faith to where I was going to work my factory job. I was going to start another lawn care business and within a year or so I was going to quit the job, go back into lawn care. It's really what I wanted to do. But as I was working in the factory, I decided, man, I love the people I work with still. It's an old job I used to work at. I'm grateful and thankful that they hired me back. So then it took me a little bit longer to start making videos. It took me a little bit longer to kind of, whatever. Of course, I'm still moving and transferring from Ohio to Kentucky and, getting stuff in life. And I'm thinking about lawn care this whole time. And I'm thinking about my YouTube channel. I'm thinking about the people that follow the channel and stuff. And I'm like, well, whenever I do. So eventually this year, I kind of decide, okay, it's a full fresh start. You know, full fresh start. I'm gonna start mowing grass, and it just my heart wasn't there. I did like I was telling you off air. Like I got one account right now. I like doing because Miss Cartwright. I got that account given to me by Mr. Romans, and it pays really good. So it's nice steady income. It's like 280 a month, which is good. It's a real pretty yard, but I don't really want a whole bunch of accounts. I went over across the river, and I've worked with American Pride Lawn Maintenance, Mr. Rob Klein. I've helped him out running a weed eater for him. He's more of a friend and a mentor. If I need anything, I could call him and he will do whatever. He's that nice of a guy. Now, if it's anything out the way or if he thinks that like, hey, whatever, he's gonna find out. But dude, like he's a good guy. He randomly calls me, checks in on me. Uh, but I just don't know what it was. And even cleaning some hill, I said, okay, if I'm not gonna mow grass, maybe I just want to trim hillsides and do stump grinding. But it's not that at all. I don't have the passion for cutting grass and going from here to go get this yard and then bust out 6 yards on this street in this neighborhood. I have no goal for none of that. But what I do like, something you like, is washing houses,
yeah,
spray and bleach. What got you into the spray and bleach side after you decided, man, I just don't want to mow grass?
it's the instant gratification of seeing the change. I mean, it's instant, and also with that, a thing I do love is sales and landscaping. You know what I mean? But
Right. Yeah, I still like landscape design work and install work.
I'm not going to work for anybody else. So what I would love to do is I can present the vision to people, and I can sub it out
Nothing
and
wrong with that. Yeah.
have the right crew go in there I know that's going to do it up to my standards.
Similar to what Dirty's doing then.
You know, but the spray and the bleach and whatnot, you can take a house or even a commercial building or whatever that looks run down or looks dreary, dreaded, whatever, and you can transform that sucker, and it's amazing. And people think, oh, just spraying some water is easy work. No, it's truly not. I mean, it's still
Oh
rough,
yeah.
still hard work, but I don't know. And the smell of that fresh, clean bleach. I don't know. I was a river rat when I was a kid, and I guess I'm a river rat, a bleach rat now that I'm an adult. You
Hey, I know exactly what you're saying because I look at it from the same similar thing, the instant gratification of watch. And the thing is, a lot of people think that they need to put a lot of pressure on. A lot of people think that you gotta have big ladders and booms to clean a house, and it's a real hard process. So I'm able to like wow people when I say, yeah, I clean, commercial buildings, or I clean houses, or I clean roofs. That's a big one. And but the business end of it, the marketing end of it, the just the total business end of it. Like with I know people talk about saturated markets a lot, which is a saturated market is a good thing because it shows that there's people in the area that will pay for that service to be provided.
right,
But there's not a whole lot of really good people who are soft washing or pressure washing flat surfaces or flat work. If you're doing a good soft wash, or if you're doing a good flat work concrete cleaning with surface cleaners and stuff, like yeah, it is physically demanding, but like it's so much faster. The profit margins are so much higher, and the process of it is just like I can do this faster. You can still set it up on a reoccurring. It's like window cleaning. You don't have to get your windows cleaned you're not going to get your windows cleaned every week. You're not going to get your house washed every week, but you can do it two times a year. You have to get a bigger clientele base.
right.
You know what I mean? But like the process of it, your marketing and your average ticket rates can go from, instead of your average ticket rate being in lawn care, $60 a cut, to you're talking $400 an average ticket. Now, you got twice the revenue, you're going to put in twice the marketing. I like the idea of having to market. I like the idea of having to generate business. I just like the idea, and I like the process of spraying bleach, cleaning houses. I like the idea of doing flat concrete work. I Not the idea, because I'm putting it in a process. I'm putting it in a play. I got some videos in queue that I need to start dropping, but I've been washing houses, and it is the same passion that I had when I first started my lawn care business. Was the same time I started my YouTube channel. Is the same passion I had. Now I have it for house washing, but I think it's because I'm growing. Maybe you too as well, as a business entrepreneur. Because my goal, honestly, is I don't want to have to get up early and go work real hard all day. I want to go work hard for a few hours and make twice as much money and be back in half the time. You know what I mean? Or only be able to get it to where I'm home more times than I'm out working with mowing grass. I have to, if you hired me, I have to be at your house every Thursday between 8 and 10 or whatever our schedule is. And I have to mow your yard, and I'm going to give you 40 and $60 for your average city lot, your 120 by your 70 by 120 lot. You know what I mean? Your $40 yard. And I have to be there every week. Stuff like that.
Do the math of this, and this is a low ball uh, move. But let's just say got 10 yards to cut, $60 a yard, right? Knock them all out in one day. You are butt ass tired by the time you get it. You don't even know if you're coming or going. You know what I mean? You dehydrate.
Right.
Let's go at this from a low ball and house washer. You go wash two houses for $300 a piece.
That's not, that's
3 hours, you're done, and $600 in your pocket.
right.
I got over 2 grand worth of fishing stuff in my spare room right here, right?
You got to put that to work.
Never got to see that stuff. Now, oh, yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. And like your setup is a lot different from my setup. You have a really dope soft wash pressure wash rig.
The thing about the Toro mower.
Back to the thing about the Toro mower. Toro bought you a whole new soft wash setup after you sold that mower.
Because that one mower that you would have to do lawn care.
Was it $12,000, $10,000?
Yeah, so retail was 12.5. You know, I was able
Crazy.
I was able to sell it a year and a half, 2 years old, whatever, for 9
Yeah, it's great.
because of COVID. And then I was able to I already had a trailer, which was too big to pressure wash out of.
Well, even at that, to mow grass, you got to have a trailer.
Yeah.
So that's another. Let's say on the cheap end, $1,000 for a trailer. Let's say on the cheap end, $2,000 for a residential walk behind if you can find one used, and then a truck just to get started mowing grass. Plus another $300 for a weed eater, and then a $200 for a blower, a little cheap blower. just to get started mowing grass, you're in deep.
Oh yeah.
You're in deep versus washing houses. You can start with a $300 pressure washer, $200 pressure washer. You're only going to get a gallon and a half a minute, but you can clean houses with that.
Yeah, I'm not recommending anybody to start with the setup that I'm starting with.
No, tell them about your setup. Tell them what you got going on though.
So I was able to trade my 18-foot trailer in and got a 14-foot tandem axle. So that was an even trade on that. And then the money from the mower enabled me, and I already had a 4 gallon a minute direct drive machine, but the money from the mower enabled me to get an 8 gallon a minute machine, 525 gallon tank, couple of hose reels, the hoses that I needed, a 4 gallon a minute electric pump, which was, sufficient for starting off doing roof wash and whatnot. And basically, I still had a little bit of money left over. And then instead of me fighting with all the plumbing and whatnot, I was like, hey, I took the trailer and everything up there
That's
to the
so
guy.
awesome.
And I was like, y'all plumb it, do everything, call me when it's done. And I picked it up, ready to roll. So I washed my first commercial building Monday, first house Tuesday, and it's off and running.
Yeah, it's moving. It's moving now. Because the equipment you have is you got a plug and play dope ass system. I'm still building mine. But with your marketing game now, are you utilizing your old lawn care landscaping clients? Is that how?
No, I rebranded myself. So I am scared to death because I am like, okay, this is a business and starting from scratch. You know what I mean? I got lucky and found a heat box that was five and a half gallon a minute. So I knew it wouldn't work on the 8 gallon a minute machine. That's why I kept the 4 gallon a minute machine, and I have it tank fed with an electric pump on it, and have that hooked to the heat box. So that way I can use it for fleet vehicles, gas
Wait,
stations.
wait, 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 wait. You found what a heat box? So you talking about a heat tank, like a heated pressure washer?
Yeah. Well, it's just the box part. It's the heater, and then you connect it with the 4 gallon a minute machine, the pressure washer that I already have.
Damn, so you can do graffiti removal and everything.
Exactly. Oil at gas stations, fleet vehicles, construction equipment, and all that. And the guy
Wow.
had it for sale for 700, and nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah. Wow. The universe is saying, "Hey, don't worry, you're gonna wash houses. Here's what we're gonna do. The universe said, we're gonna make sure you got enough money to build you a dope ass system. Now, what you do with it, you
Is
gotta you gotta do it."
And I used to use a local company around here to make my yard signs, but they were like $10, $11 a piece. So I found a place online that does double sided yard signs for half that. So it's like $5 for a sign. And they're getting here Tuesday.
That's UZ marketing, right?
Yes.
See, I looked at them as well. I like. I'm gonna go that same route as well. Now, do they have the yard stakes with them?
I'm not sure. I have a bunch of yard stakes here already, so I really wasn't sweating that.
Right.
But I will definitely let you know.
Yeah, because that's the same route I want to do because I got my door hangers, and I also want to get eventually, like me and you was talking off air, is I want to put out 20 yards house washing things, and they're going to get pulled. So I already know I want to figure out how long can I put out 20, and how long can they stay out there? How Excuse me, how many calls can I get off it? Because I'm not going to get a lot,
Right.
but I want to get my name and my number, not my name, but I just want to get my house washing, gutter cleaning,
Exactly.
whatever, and eventually I want to have, house wash, concrete cleaning, it's all different kinds. I want to have a little setup area to strategically, especially for gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning is really easy. I charge I charge fairly high on gutter. I don't like climbing ladders, but I will. But I will,
Right.
because I see some guys run around here and I see one guy $150 like flat rate, $150 whatever. Good for him. I'm not gonna do a lot of that work, but it needs done. Someone's gonna do it. But I'm really excited. I'm just really excited, and it's funny that you took this similar route to where I'm at, and I vibe with you. Big, heavy on what you're doing right now.
Yeah, and before, so in November, I was it no. So in October, I got a wild hair on my butt, and I was like, I am sick of being here in the city. And I was like, the housing market is crazy. So, let me see what I can do. So I called a couple realtors, come to the house, and I built up like 7 years of equity in it. And so they weren't talking a whole lot. I mean, it's not the best in neighborhoods, you know what I mean? So that affects brings the value down. But then out of nowhere, by running my mouth, I mentioned to this guy that I know that buys iPhones and he's in the tech world, right? That I was thinking about selling my house. He looks me dead in the eyes and says, I want to buy it cash. I'm like, yo, what the frick ever?
Yeah, no one says that.
You know,
Right.
like, when can I come and look at it? I'm like, let's go now. He's like, all right. So he came over. He called his two brothers. They came by and they're stomping on the floor and looking around and whatnot. And they're like, when can we do the paperwork?
Whoa.
I ain't got no place to go. What the hell y'all talking about, right? So the guy I bought that house from, I called him as soon as they left. I'm like, by chance, do you have any place out in the country? He's like, you know what? I actually do. He said it needs a lot of work. The person that's living there hadn't paid rent in 3 years.
Right.
It doesn't even have a front door on it.
Oh.
I was like, I want it.
Yeah. You already knew.
7 acres. I want it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So he's like, man, go out there and look at it first. So I pulled up. I'm like, crap. I want it. It's got a barn. It's 7 acres. I don't
Yeah.
see nobody.
7 acres is good. Yeah. That's a lot of land.
So I paid off that house, put money down on this house, and do I regret it? No. Is it a struggle? Yes, because I got to redo the electrical in this house. I got to tear out all the plaster walls so I can insulate this. It was over $300 a month to heat it during the wintertime.
Ah.
No insulation. The house was built in 1945.
So you and Ren 1010 get to cozy up both of them, ain't you? You got two big German shepherds, ain't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. You guys cuddle. You guys gonna have to cuddle up. Say, hey,
it's a 2 dog night. It's like,
yeah, that's awesome, man. But it's one of them struggles. It's one of them struggles that like I would. That's what you want. That's kind of struggles that you want because you're not somewhere where you're miserable and you're not somewhere where you're like, man, if I don't lock up my garage, I already know the crackheads are gonna come clean me out or whoop whoop like that. There's this one guy that has a YouTube channel. He went inside one day. He's a lawn care guy. Uh, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Anyway, he goes inside to take a shower and they cleaned him out. Robbed his trailer, robbed his blower, his weed eaters, all that right off his trailer. He went outside. It's like 12 noon,
Kurt
12 noon, dog.
got his trailer stolen the other day.
Who was it?
Curtis from Weed Whacker Lawn Care, older black gentleman.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a couple years ago this happened to him. It
Yeah,
happened to him again?
he went to where his trailer's parked the other day to go to work, and his trailer was gone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the same guy that went in. You know what video I'm talking about then when he went in and took a shower?
Exactly.
They cut his locks off him.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang, man. He needs it. I met him at the GIE and they're like, nicest guy in the world.
It blows my mind.
That's what, and I've done a lot. Like everybody, a lot of these guys know my past, know my history. I've done a lot of bad things. I'm not a good person. I try to be every day. I've done a lot of wrong things. I should be, you know, not here today. So I'm grateful for where I'm at.
Exactly. Well,
Man,
it's the thing. Our past doesn't define us. It's what
right.
we do now. You know what I mean? Like last night. Last night I was sitting there watching the news, and what I saw I just broke down. I couldn't help all like a baby. A mother was in her apartment. She opened her window, and she takes her 3-year-old baby out the window and says, "I'm gonna drop her." And some random guy in the apartment happened to see her and hear her, and kept the baby's head from hitting the ground. The baby's body still hit the ground, but not her head. So she's in the hospital in
God.
bad condition, and the mother's in jail without bond. I'm like,
Yeah, that's murder.
you know what I mean? I'm like, why? What is, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely heart wrenching, and and that's kind of our goal. It's been kind of been one of my goals on my channel. As I always talk about, keep chasing dreams, be a better man, be a better father. Now it's be a better father as I'm stacking kids up now. It seems like because not everybody had a super duper great I didn't grow up in a super awesome area. Obviously, Curtis doesn't live in a good area. I'm grateful that you got to be able to get out in the country, and that's my goal. My goal is to be able to buy a shitty house out in the country to where I work on whenever I get home, and it feels like home because it's been put putting back together with my hands. Um,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And that's something like where you're at now is where I wanna be able to be in the next whatever, however many years it takes. Let's say it takes me 5 years, let's say it takes me 10 years. It don't matter. Like, I wanna be able to do what you're doing right now.
The
You
big,
kn you know what I mean? 'Cause
the
I
big,
I think that's gorgeous.
the biggest thing is be aware and don't let an opportunity pass you by. Because
Yeah, because you could've been too scared to sell your house and then missed out on everything.
yeah, because the house I was in before was proud of it. It was in great shape, great condition. You know what I mean? Didn't have to worry about nothing, right? So this house, they had to go through an eviction process to get her out, and she was starting to move her stuff and told the guy, "Hey, I started to move, but the guy helping me hurt his shoulder." So Dave was like, "Hey, I know a person that would love to help you get out, right?" So I brought the trailer over and we're helping, and make it happen and this and that, and then the sheriff's like, "All right, you can take possession." Well, Dave could take possession of it, Saturday at noon, right, fully.
Yeah,
So I pulled up and sit out in the driveway like 11:50. And when it hit 12:01, I pull right in front of the house,
it's your house.
and we start putting stuff in the trailer and whatnot. And it was all stuff left behind. 3,500 pounds of junk that was in the house,
Wow.
and it was just, I mean, it was intimidating, and it's
Yeah,
still a little bit, but I'm more proud of this house than I am of the house that didn't need a daggone thing. Now,
yeah.
I moved in Saturday. Monday, I had to get the whole HVAC system had to be replaced. It was fried.
Yeah. Hey, well, good blessings that you came along your way earlier. You still got your strikes. You
Oh,
still had some strikes too.
yeah, I was like, "Tech gummit," and I'm on the well here, so I contacted the county about getting a meter to be able
Mhm.
to pull off fire hydrants in case I, need to wash a fleet vehicle
Right.
or somebody else's on the well or whatever. And so it's not a problem. It's like $1,000 deposit, which is a lot of money, but
Yeah.
you get that back.
Are you gonna start speaking of well, like there's some places around here. That's why I got my 330-gallon IBC tote or whatever,
Right,
because there's and we talk about direct drives and gravity pump. But anyway, hold on. Are you gonna supply your own water on like whenever you let's say you come across a job that it's well water, so instead of burning the pump, you're gonna supply your own water, right?
right.
Um, what kinda price rate increase do you think, like a 20% or like
Honestly, I have yet to find. I got the application for the meter, but I'm gonna find out what the water costs me per
right before
gallon,
you can figure
whatever,
out your numbers? Yeah.
and then the costs of going to getting it, and you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know my trailer's not gonna be strong enough to, whenever because there's gonna come a time to where I'm gonna have to 100% supply my own water, which is
Right,
fine. It's part of the business, but, I'm just kinda figuring out on, like, is it gonna be a 20% increase, a 30%
right.
rate you know what I mean? I don't know where I'm gonna be at. I was just kinda thinking about that.
And
Uh,
one thing I'm gonna have to be careful about that I'm. So my tank is 525, right?
it's a big tank.
And so I'm like, if I have to supply my own water, which machine do I want to use? Do I want to use the 8 gallon a minute because I'm gonna blow through the water, or do I want to use the 4 gallon a minute machine? Which, because I don't want to empty my tank and have to go all the way back out and refill it and come, you know what I mean?
Right.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's a good question too.
I
Yeah,
mean
and another thing I was thinking too, along the same line is where I have let's say a 300-gallon tank, 330. I'm gonna put my float like way down because I don't want to fill up 300 gallons because
Right.
I'm only using a 3.5 gallon a minute machine. I can cover a lot of ground if I let the chemical do the work and don't waste. Especially if you're on somebody's water, you can waste as much as you want. But like, um, Imma put the float down, and so I haven't got to where I've decided how much am I gonna let my IBC tote fill up,
Right.
before it cuts off, because even if I was on a well property with, let's say, the hose can only run for a couple minutes before it gets warm, well, as long if I even just bring some of my own water, let that run and just keep continuously shutting off, turning on, shutting off, turning that ain't gonna burn their pump up, and I'm not gonna have a ton of water I gotta haul around. That's those little things I don't know, it's just something I'm thinking about too.
Well,
I don't really know.
and not just burn their pump up, but you don't want to well dry either. And
Yeah,
and you gotta
exactly.
think about, is it been a drought? Do they have a good water level? And different wells are different. You know what I mean? Now I'll tell you
Yeah,
one thing I recently learned is insurance, because you see all these ads, next insurance and this and that, da da da.
yeah,
da. And so shop around, people, because I'd gotten quotes from $130 a month up to 200, almost $200 a month for pressure washer insurance because roofs were involved. And then I talked to a local insurance broker, and I'm paying $67 a month.
yeah, my lawn care insurance was only like $20 a month, but now I'm getting quotes for pressure washing, it's like 67 to 100, other ones are up to $100, and I'm thinking, "Man, like, my lawn care was, like, so much cheaper. Why is the I don't understand why the pressure washing is so much more expensive."
Well, and if you're telling them about roof cleaning, that's why.
You see, you think that's what it is? So what, just say, I just wash concrete," or I
No,
don't
I mean, I would be honest with them and tell them, but
yeah,
let them know that you don't get on the roof. Tell them you put the ladder on the house and you wash it from on the ladder.
okay. Yeah, because 'cause I'm kinda still just under my general contractor, or the one I was using for mowing grass, which that's probably not right, but I'm looking to get a different one, but, I don't know. I just much rather pay $20 a month than than 80 or 100 or 200, but
But check around with, like, see if you have a farm bureau in your state,
okay.
because they can offer some real good insurances. And for some reason, my so I put commercial auto on the truck, and I don't know if this is normal, which I don't think it is, but my commercial auto is cheaper than if I had personal auto insurance, which seems backwards.
You use the same vehicle?
Yeah. So so I only have the commercial policy. I don't need a personal, because the commercial covers it for business and personal.
Hmm. Yeah, I need to restructure since I kind of was out of business for a while and I'm living in a new area. I rent this house now versus I owned my house trailer before. So like now going back into business, I still got to figure out, all right, what am I writing off? Right now I'm just kind of just saving pretty much my gas is the only thing I'm really focused on right now. I'm not worried about anything else. My bleach, I do try to save my receipts on my bleach, but I don't know, like, I just get to restructure, so now I'm like, wonder if I can take 30% of my rent because it's a home office, my rent payment, and write that off, so that's something else I'm looking at because it's a home office, you know what I mean? It's just a lot different, but to be honest, I'm not gonna turn it if, like, I don't turn it, well, I probably never mind, I don't you know what it is,
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
you know
Now's a good time to shut up.
yeah, 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 you know what it is, it's just business. So yeah, let's just move on. So anyway, you brought up your old man. You said you think about him. And I think another part of this channel is, obviously I mentioned becoming a better father, becoming a better man, because maybe, not everybody had a great father growing up, and some of us did, and some of us aim to be a good man and a good father. You tell some stories about him. You said that his memory and his legacy your still
So,
drives you today.
at his memorial, and this is sad, but at his memorial service, I learned something about him that I didn't know when he was alive. So we more had like a celebratorial. type of memorial service where people stand up and tell stories and memories and all that. And I had bagpipe band play
Oh,
for,
that's awesome.
because I grew up with him playing bagpipes through the woods at the house and whatnot. And he was
That
drunk,
is awesome.
all that stuff. So this doctor stood up, Dr. Farley, I'll never forget it. And Dr. Farley had a terrible hunting accident.
Mm.
He was out, I don't know if it was deer or turkey or whatever, but he shot and killed his nephew. A total accident.
Yeah.
And Dr. Farley said, even family, friends, didn't know what to say, so they shunned him. They stayed away. My dad went over there and said, "Come on, let's go for a ride. Let's go out. Let's talk." And was there for him. Nobody else was.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful. That says a lot. Just that alone.
there was other stories of him, like Joe Blow. How people can try to trick you and say, "Hey, I need money for a bus ticket or whatever," right?
Yeah.
But Dad took this guy to the Greyhound bus station, took him to get food, then took him to Greyhound bus station. So, you need a bus ticket? Okay, here's a non-refundable bus ticket. Now get home. And when he needed day laborers, he would go to, there used to be a place here in Richmond called 14th Street Bridge, and underneath it was like a homeless camp. And so he knew those people needed help. So he would go there and say, "Hey, I need 6 guys for the day."
Right.
And he would try to help people that needed help.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful.
you're right, it's a beautiful thing, and that's a lot of that drives me to what I do today. So
Yeah, that's the kind of guy I want my kids to be able to talk that way about me. And there's some good things I can say about my own man. Like he struggled with paranoid schizophrenia, so it's like a lot of it is everything. We all make our own choices, but like with mental illness too, it's it kind of takes some choice away from people, and a lot of people say, like, use a term like crazy or whatever. Like, people don't understand that word crazy, and they don't understand how drugs and addiction ruin lives, and then mental illness will wreck a family all the way around. But whenever I was real young, I'd hear some stories about who my dad used to be, and that's the kind of person that I remember now, that never the guy I really got to meet, but the guy that everybody vouched for.
right.
Does that make sense? And so, like, I've taken that in my, because my kids ain't never gonna, you know, but it's a good thing my kids are they do have a positive grandfather in life. Kayla's dad he's a good guy. He's hard as a rock. He's stubborn as all as all can be, and but those are kind of good things, because in turn, where me and him argue, and I get aggravated with what he does and says, but he put me in check, and it's something I never had in my life. I've never had a man just call me out on bullshit before, because like I feel I'm 30 something years old. Like, he don't care. He's 50, 60 years old. I'm still a kid to him no matter what. But they do it out of love, and out of respect, and they want the best for the next generation coming up. So that's one thing that I
And
aim for.
and I'll tell you this: mental illness carries a stigma that it should not. You know what I mean?
Right.
But ignorance creates fear. Unknowing people don't know about true mental illness. They don't know how to deal with it, and until they have truly had somebody very close to them in their family that have had it, you know,
Yeah.
even family members shun away from it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Everybody wanted to come borrow money off dad whenever, because he was foreman at a steel mill, and he
right,
owned a Easy Go Video was a you went and rented VHS tapes. And a VHS tape is a kinda like a DVD, it's kinda like Netflix, but not really. So
right,
I guess he owned a store like that whenever I was like 2 or 3, and people would, his sisters and stuff, everybody, borrow money, and he was free with the money. But then when he went nuts, when he went crazy and then burn everything to the ground, like,
right.
no one was there for him. These are stories I hear. Of course, that's all secondhand, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, people turn away, and then that says a lot about your character. You turn away from someone in need, you don't have very good character, and that's someone I never want to be. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, there is nothing worse than the feeling of a person with mental illness struggling and feeling isolated and by themselves.
Yeah.
There's, because it's like you feel overwhelmed, you feel hopeless, you feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what to do, so they stay away or they do nothing.
And to be fair, I'm not trying to pick on, like, other people. So, just to show that, like, whenever I was 23, dad died when I was 23. I was just starting to fall into the drug world, struggling with, I was drinking a lot, whole lot, and I started to get into, like, drugs. People that know my backstory know what, whatever. But, that was the start of it, and he was that was during one of his real, real bad episodes is what we called it. And I was in my early 20s. Me and the girl I was with that time was, like, on the verge. We were just about all the way done. And he shows up, and he was kinda had a moment of mental clarity, but, like, I was just tired of dealing with the schizophrenia and the
Right.
nonsense. I was tired of the embarrassment from a whole life of that, and it was like a moment of his clarity to where I should have seen it.
But you didn't
And
understand. That's no
yeah,
fault of your own.
well, yeah, and I turned him away, and then, like, I got a call later that night that was, like, not the call you want. That's the night he passed away, and it was like, that was one of the moments that was just like, you know, you don't wanna make them same mistakes, you know what I mean?
Well, and in regards to your point, in regards to speaking to the audience of we're not trying to pick on or people,
Yeah,
full disclosure is the reason why I know that people with mental illness can be difficult and whatnot, and what it feels like when you're isolated and left alone is because I fight bipolar every day.
yeah,
I have non-military PTSD. Me having two shepherds around me at all times is not by coincidence. It's because I deal well with customers, but when I want to not have anything to do with anybody, then I don't want anybody around me. I can't, you know what I mean?
and that's what probably played a big part into you starting your own business and stuff then?
Exactly. Because I have a problem dealing with customers that are idiots.
Right,
And how do you think corporate America feels about getting a call? Hey, your employee called me an idiot.
right.
They
Yeah,
So me, I just fire myself every night and rehire myself every morning. And if a customer's an idiot, then you replace them and keep them moving.
yeah, and that's, and there's a lot of, like, you look at the service industry, but, like, let's look at the grain industry and the wash life industry. These are low barrier to entry, businesses. Most people start with a push mower, a broom, in a Troy built weed eater or whatever. So, like, not everybody, but some people start out and they come from, maybe they're just wanting to restart their life. They want a second chance. And or people in the roofing industry, they want a second chance. And there are all these little jokes like, "Oh, you're a roofer, you're a crackhead. Oh, you own a lawn care business, you're a fucking crackhead." Like, there's all these little, like, society has these little, like, jokes and games, but, like, people don't look at it and say, like, "Dude, just give the dude a second chance." Yeah, he might have went to prison, but, like, who cares? Like, that's why I was open about it when I posted my mugshot and everything like that, because, like, you look at the service industry and you say, some of the best business operators or some of the best people you ever meet are people who went to jails and prisons, are people who got a second chance. And not every, because you can't go get a good weld job. You can't go become a welder at Toyota. Well, Toyota can, but, like, certain factories won't even hire drug related charges.
Right.
And even though they're 5 to 7 years old, you can't get a job. So there's a list that you can't. So it's like, I'm just gonna start my own business, but then you also got that stigma of society, so sometimes it is better just to, like, totally hide behind the name of your business, Don't sometimes there's nothing wrong with saying, like, I never told clients that I was the owner. I had clients come up to me and be like, they would say stuff like, not all of them, because some of them that early on, but on, like, the bigger accounts, they'd come and be like, "Hey, last week when they were here, blah, blah, blah," or I'd get phone calls like, "Hey, when your guy was here earlier," and it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll let him know." And it's just like, that was me the whole time, but, like, I could have said, "No, no, I'm the business owner," but, like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like beauty. There's nothing wrong with like building a beautiful business and hiding behind it. If so, you can hide your self-conscious, you can hide your insecurities. You can, you know, it's having a business. Everybody, I joke around and say not everybody's an entrepreneur, but everybody can be an entrepreneur if
No,
you just.
I disagree with you.
So does Virgil.
Yeah,
So
no,
does Dirty.
no. Everybody can't get their ass up and get out there and put them signs out and speak and hand them business cards out and sell. Not everybody's a salesperson. You have to be a salesperson to be an entrepreneur. You have
Yeah,
to drive. You have to have that want. A lot of
for sure.
people will go into the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people are happy with it, you know. And to be honest, if like if I only had to mow grass right here, I would just rather be happy focusing on just, making 20 bucks an hour like I do now as a welder.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that, but I wanna do Imma do both, you know what I mean? Imma do both for now until the wash side takes over and I'm literally losing money. That's obviously my goal, but if I was to have to just go mow grass and feel the way I feel, like, I don't wanna run 60 yards a week right now. I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm
Right.
happy with a few lawns and then focusing on houses because
I'm,
there's, and I guess it all depends on where you work at too.
I'm,
If you have a
I have a small little space on the very back of that trailer, room for a push mower,
right,
because I do have 3 customers
right,
that are friends. You know what I mean? And they've been with me for the long haul, and I actually enjoy their little granny yards.
right, yeah,
The money's good, and so hey, I have, and it's good advertising. I'll go take the trailer with the wash setup, go mow their yard, and I'm parked out in front of their house, and their neighbors see it. So why the hell not? You know?
yeah, yeah. Because then it gives you a reason. And that was another reason I was glad to take on this yard because it gives me a reason to be in that area. It gives me a reason to be in that area every week. So like, if I don't have time to hang a bunch of signs, but like usually what I'm doing is I'm looking to see if the neighbor or people are out and about, then that gives me a reason to go over there. My truck's been there multiple times.
And
One buddy of mine lives in a decent little neighborhood, and I go help him all the time. He has a hillside in front of his yard, and I just help him weed eat it just for me to be in that neighborhood.
right,
So now people recognize my truck, and I've gotten 2 jobs or I've got 1 job out of there. It's 2 jobs, same client,
right.
just by being in that neighborhood. So, like, that's another thing, I wouldn't done that if I wasn't helping my buddy just go trim the hillside, you know what I mean?
And I'll tell you, I learned something from a marketing genius: is saturate the area. So
Right. I need to do better. I'm so lazy and it's like I'm
like if
worthless.
I'll pick a neighborhood and hang business cards on the doorknobs, right?
Uh-huh.
Doing that once ain't gonna gut it.
Right.
You wait 6 weeks, do it again, wait 6 more weeks, do it a third time, because that drills your name into that customer's subconscious, and it gets them familiar with your brand, your company name, your logo. And so then after that third time, you're talking 6 to 18 weeks. You know what I mean? So then
Right.
that's who they're going to think of when it comes to the services that you offer.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. It's all about building that it's all about building that subconscious to where when they think house wash, when they think mowing grass, when they think whatever, they automatically think your name. And they're good and in turn, they're gonna be marketing on your behalf because
Yeah.
let's say Miss Susie, they're at a barbecue down at Miss Susie's house, and Miss Susie says, "Man, I need to get my windows cleaned or I need to get my house washed." Well, I know a guy because everybody wants to be the person who feels important, who feels like they know something, who feels like they can recommend or help. So now you do a good job. Brett does a good job. And I, Mrs. House Clean at Susie's house, I know Brett really good. I know a guy who
Right.
cleans houses really good. He does my house, so it makes them feel important. So now they're marketing on your behalf. Networking, just keeping it and kicking it old school by networking with other businesses and just being out there and meeting people hand in hand. Like me and Dirty was talking a lot about like SEO work and websites. I'm not going to I've already built a website and I've seen your website too, which is good, but I'm not going to focus a lot on the website. I know a lot of the guys like on the YouTubes scream and yell about it, but from where I'm at now, it just doesn't make sense for me
Right.
to sink the money into it now. Maybe later on, but just focus on the free stuff and this maybe play to you guys in the audience. focus on the free stuff. You got your Facebook. Facebook's not super, whatever. Instagram's a new one. A lot of the older generation and people who's got some money are starting to get more on Instagram now that it's owned by Facebook. Facebook's still there, but it's not as super popular. Instagram's a new one. Google My Business is always the key. Keep up your Google My Business. Get
Now,
500 photos on there for you. Whatever.
let me tell you a little trick about Google My Business that will get you kicked off. Is having two businesses on the same address.
Really? Ooh, didn't know that.
Yeah, the second one, Google will, within a day, will flag and remove.
Wow. I did not know that.
Act of Congress. They will make you video chat with them. They will make you walk out the front door. They will make you show the house numbers on the side of the house. And it's like, wow.
Wow. I definitely didn't know that. So we're over an hour with it. I appreciate you coming on. What's something you want to leave the audience with?
The biggest thing that I like about entrepreneurship is the opportunity to make the world a better place and do good for people. One thing I did when the lawn care, I get up 5 o'clock in the morning. These dogs don't let me sleep a minute past 5. I'm like, y'all are like a bunch of kids on Saturday morning, but saw on the news of a house that had been abandoned, and the neighbors were complaining about this grass is like 4 foot tall, talking about snakes coming in their yard, whatever. And they complained to the city. I'm like, you know what? I'm about doing the hell with this. So I called Channel 6, said, hey, I'm going to go knock that out. And I'm over there at 6:30 in the morning, took the trailer, went straight over there and knocked it out, cleaned it up, got on.
That's awesome.
It's let's give back to the community, even when we're not ahead. Just do right by people.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, I totally agree. Do what you can. All that good stuff.
People may not agree with your views, this, that. It don't matter. We're all in this together. You know what I mean?
I 100,000% agree with what you're saying right there. So, Mr. Brett, Clean Up Lawn Services. Got your
call it a day.
Say it again.
Get you a German Shepherd and call it a day.
Hey, I miss my old black and tan. His name was Razor. He was a good dog. Loved that dog. He was a beautiful, and I had a beautiful sable, and she had 6 puppies. She was awesome. And with German Shepherd I had, he was police trained, the kind of thing. We spent $1,800 to get him claimed. I'd say, fuck it, pass off. Different commands. But I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit all the buttons. Y'all know what it is. My name is Jesse James. This was The Average Idiot, Eastern Kentucky's only, one and only AI-powered podcast, AI-powered platform where we get together with industry leaders, small business owners, average, everyday idiots, average, everyday guys, people who are just trying to power through life, build a business, do the right thing, be a better father, taking knees for Christ the King, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. Peace. Okay, now I'm probably going to have to edit this last out. Let's see, end broadcast. I don't know if it end broadcast have to kick me out. Hold on. I think it's going to kick you off. Hold on.
I think so.
Let's see. If it does, I'll see you later. I'm going to have to edit this last couple little bit out. But even if it does, I think it does because it's not quite like Zoom. I'll just edit this last little part out. I appreciate you coming on, man. I want to talk, have you back, talk with you again. Kind of like a, how is it? Like see where you're at now here in a few weeks. I want to talk to Johnny Moe here coming up soon. I'm going to get back in the horn. I want to keep doing these videos because you're one of the only people that watch. Like, there's only a handful, about 5 of you guys that watch like everything.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about my whole idea on the? Because I'm gonna start making videos. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna get out here by the trailer and do a setup. But what do you think about taking hold and seeing what we can do about getting the power washing side of YouTube up to par like the lawn care?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to, that's why I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to post for house washing videos, like keywords and stuff to post.
Right.
So I definitely agree. We need more house washing videos because there's only a handful of guys, and those guys, they're doing good and stuff. But we need more people. There's a ton of people that are in mowing and landscaping, and we need to bring it all over to pressure washing.
And there's 4 of them that, like I say, just want to sell courses. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
nuts.
thinking about like what I'm going to do that brewery. I'm gonna record it all, and then I'm gonna put that up with voiceover.
Voiceover is good. That's how, yeah, I did a lot of videos like that. Kevin started out like that. How
Yeah,
Greg Chisholm did a lot of his voiceovers are good because it keeps people watching. It
right.
holds their attention. You know what I mean? Because it has the visual awesome instead of like stupid stuff like I do. I'll put music behind it. It's like dumb. Like voiceovers, you're dropping your knowledge with it. You're able to think about what you're saying, and
Exactly.
yeah, it's
And,
good. I like that idea.
and it covers up all the God damn it. Oh fuck,
Yeah, right. This all the stupid nonsense. Yeah, I totally 100% agree. Yeah, keep posting the videos and, all that stuff. Imma try to start putting these stuff out on, like Imma try to start scheduling them out. So, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just hit publish or I'll post it for the next day, but I think I'm just gonna just do, like, no matter what, like, maybe like a podcast, like, every Friday or, like, every Monday, I might do a podcast and, like, my vlog videos, like, every Friday and then schedule it out for the next couple weeks, you know what I mean? I'm not sure what to do yet. It's hard to figure out and do it the right way, you know what I mean? Because 'Cause I'm not making money off this.
right.
So I don't really give a shit at the end too, you know what I mean? But I'd like to make money if possible.
Oh shit. I mean, making money is come on, is a plus.
Right. Yeah. 100%,
Big-
100% agree. That's what it's all about.
I mean,
So,
that's why we're in business to make money to make a better life.
yeah, no other reason than that.
You
No other reason than that. All
we
right. I'll
got bills to pay, so it is what.
yeah. Yeah, no doubt. All right. I'll holler at you, bud.
All right, man.
Later.
Have a good one.